Hi guys. Hi guys. Hello. How are you? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Whenever you are. Tonight, I like to start a new project. Um, this is a very rare uh, kit that being built on YouTube videos. This is 1/43rd scale model cars, and actually, there's a huge amount of modelers and collectors building and collecting these model cars. Even though the scale is kind of small, slightly larger than 1 to 48 scale, but the amount of details that the manufacturers that or artisans that put into their kits is unbelievable. And tonight, I want to start a project which is from a manufacturer called Tamil Kits. Tamil had been in the business for almost, as far as I remember, almost 40 years. Luca Tamil is the proprietor and also the master maker of Tamil Kits. But as it started, he used to make master for Mary Kits, and then he formed his own company, and now they had over 400 kits, which is just under Tamil Kit brand. And they also have other brands, like they have a series of World Championship cars, which are super details. I mean, really super details. And then the Silver Line, which is another spin-off from the Tamil line. Um, the difference between Tamil kits and Silverline kits, the most obvious thing are the decals. All Tamil kits has two sheets of actually two sheets of the same decals in each kit, while Silverline only has one. But the degree of details between the two are almost the same these days. I think when he started the Silverline, they want to make it a simpler kit, but as time goes on, the kit became more and more details. Now, if you haven't seen any of these kind of kits before, so I can show you how the kit is like. Now, obviously, I had opened this kit because usually when the kit comes in, the body and the bottom tray of the car will be packed inside a plastic bag, sealed it in a plastic bag. And then the box will fill with foam peanuts. We call it peanuts because it's shaped like peanuts, but all those small foam pieces packed all the way up to the top of the box with it to prevent the kids being moved around. And then here's a bag of all the white metal parts. Oh, by the way, these are all metal kits. There's no plastic in there. The only different material will be the rubber tires, and you can see the tires already have the of the branding printed on. Now they mainly produce Formula One kits, and this one is the Lotus 21 E21, which is 2013 season. And this particular car was driven by Kimi Raikkonen and also Russo. Obviously, I'm going to build the Kimi Raikkonen. And then they have usually Tamil kit has a full color um, instruction. There are not huge amount of parts in there, but the instruction is very well illustrated and also with detailed color call out. But the color are not usually not too complex because these are all the curbside kits. Most of them are curbside kit. Of course, we have full detail kits as well, but these are usually website kits. And then we have some color photo references. See, it's full color instruction and with the correct color calls out. And also photos for the reference of the placement of the decals. Okay. And of course, they also have the position of all the decals. And also, usually what included in the kits is photo etch. This particular kit has one sheet of photo etch parts, namely the end plate for the rear wings and most of the suspension arms. And also, what's nice about Tamil kits is they always have a label in etched metal, so you can put it on the base. We always like to make a base for the car, for the kit after it's built. And then here is the decal, even though it's very small sheet of decals, but you can tell that the printing is very sharp and very precise. And the color is very solid and opaque. And like I said, it has two sheets of decals. Now I have this kit for quite a while, so the edge of the decals is yellow, but the decal itself is in perfect condition. And the very famous these days, decal manufacturer or the printer, Cartograph, actually start their business with 1/43 scale model cars. I have some model kits that's about 40 to 50-year old. And the decals were printed by Cartograph, and the decals are still in good condition these days. No yellowing. Um, I don't know whether it's being become very brittle. I haven't used them, but there's no yellowing, and the printing is just as sharp, all the way down to the minute details, like if you can see that the smaller decals here are perfectly registered. The reason they have black around the biscuit color, the lotus yellow color, usually what we term it as biscuit color. The black outline is to maintain the sharpness of the biscuit color. When you place the decal, because it has a very strong white background, in order to have the biscuit yellow, very solid and very opaque. So they put a black outline around the yellow, so that when you put the decal on a black background, it maintains a very sharp edge. The decal will not show the white background with the yellow on top of it, and all. It's not that sharp. Always have overlapping color, which you can see. But with a black outline around all this biscuit color, you will keep everything very sharp, even though we have a black background, but with a very light color uh, um, motifs. So that's the decal. Now to make this kind of white metal kits, we actually take quite different approaches compared with plastic kits, because these are ultimately mold with rubber mold. So it's not like injection kit mold with very hard steel molds. There might be a change of shape during the molding stage, because the molds are rubber. And obviously the technology has improved a lot since 40 years, and the fit of the parts are relatively, or compared with 40 years ago, the fit of the parts had been greatly improved. And most modelers are worried about putting paint on the metal, but there's no need to worry because we paint this small small metal kit, as much as a real car as possible. Meaning we put the primer on, we sand the primer all the way down to bare metal, so the metal surface uh, it's perfectly smooth before we put 2 or 3 coats of primer on it, and then we will put a light color base coat, say for black. Then I don't have to worry about anything. I just put primer gray or primer black on it, and then paint it with black. But if we have a car in red or in yellow or in white, we will put light color base coat on the as a base coat. Um, like for Ferrari red, we have the dedicated pink primer for them. And then yellow, obviously we use white for it. And instead of only using or mainly using sanding paper, we clean the parts, especially the parting line, which are usually quite obvious because the mold it's composed of two rubber part. So when you press it, it will slightly expand or retract, even though they have like metal rings around the rubber mold to keep it in shape. But still, it's a lot softer than the steel mold that they make an plastic injection kit. So we need to clean up all these mold parting lines, and we use files a lot. That's why I have a lot of files. This is just a small uh, part of my files. I have loads of files with different shapes, different shapes, different gray, um, and also one of the important thing to do. One of the important process for these kids is to create scale thickness whenever possible. Now, the molding of white metal, because of the production process, usually the parts are molded very thick. Now, this has been improved a lot. I mean, this looks relatively thin, but it's still too thick if you want to create a very authentic looking kit, like the spine here. And you can see the spine is relatively thick, and also the diffuser, the bottom tray, the bottom pan. Those we always want to thin it down, and also I always put the kit on a jig to measure everything, to make sure the wheels are aligned well, and make sure it's level. And another thing to make sure is the ground clearance. By putting a shim between the model and the jig, will keep the ground clearance very level, very consistent. And most of the Formula One car has ground clearance of 50 cm, I think. 5 cm, yeah, 5 cm. And Then for 1/43 scale, I think 1 mm shim will be usually will look right. So this is the jig that I make myself. I made myself. I have drill holes. One of the main big hole is for holding the car body, and this is for if I need to fix any other stuff to it, then these are the little holes for fixing other stuff. And then I had engraved lines. I don't know where you can see it. Yeah, I have engraved lines, which is uh, perfectly balanced or symmetrical. Not perfect, but close enough, all symmetrical to align the wheels, the front wings, the rear wings when I do the final assembly of the kit. So this is one of the jig that is very useful for building this kind of kit. And okay, tonight let's start building this kit. It's kind of boring just saying everything, all the process and all that. So what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and start building the kit. Um, with the process I go through, usually. If you check my video, I have built one 43rd scale kit, which was the Lotus 1990. But that was a simple way to do it. This time I would like to do it like a regular way, not the super detailed way, but a regular way. And what I want to start is to put a hole in the bottom pan so that I will glue hexagon nuts there, which I will use to fix the car, uh, fix the kit to the jig while doing some of the assembly, and also keep it on the jig when I do the final assembly of the wings and the wheels to make them make sure they are perfectly aligned and also perfectly vertical. Now, after doing that, I will do a lot of thinning out process. Like I would like to show you one of the same kit, which I have a couple of uh, parts already prepared now. This is the same kit with the same of the same bottom tray. If you compare the thickness of the edge, I don't know whether you can tell. You can see the top one, which I have thinned out, looks a lot thinner than the one on the bottom. Okay, and also if you look at the little what do they call it? Turning vanes on the uh, diffuser, you can see the top one I have thinned out the edges a little bit. Of course, this is not the ultimate way to do it. The ultimate way is to trim all the turning vane off and then replace them with metal sheets, like copper sheets. That's usually what Japanese modelers will do. They will almost rebuild the whole kit, but that takes a lot of time and a lot of skill. And this is a sort of a standard build for me, to create a more detailed looking finished model. You can see I have also the also the gouge out the channel here. There should be a channel there. And you can see that I've already sand the bottom part a little bit. I haven't sand it completely yet because I rather spray a coat of primer before I try to give it a better finish for the final coat of paint. And if you look at the other body that I had prepared, you can one of the things that I've done is to hollow out the airbox. Uh, Other than cleaning up all the potting lines, I have thinned out the airbox and also clean out all the flashes on the air intake on the side part. And also I had replaced the spine with copper sheet. And you can see the difference between the two. This one is really thick, and this is much thinner and look much to the scale thickness. And also I have thinned out the back of the body, the rear body, which is solid when it comes, and I thin it out. So after I paint the inside black, it will look a lot more realistic. And obviously, I have the airbox come in the separate parts, so like that. The way they break the part, it's following the color of the car, because the airbox of the car, it's red. So for 1/43 scale cars, we they like to break the car, break up the parts according to the way for painting. So it's easy because it's easier to paint the air this part red and then the other part black, and then just glue them together. And obviously, we will have a pretty obvious joint there. So for us, we would always like to use masking to paint that. So we will. This is solder on, not glue on, but solder on, and also the spine is solder on, which I will do, which I will do on this video, on this live view, slowly. So I'm not going to hurry. I will take it slowly and maybe spend an hour or 2 hours every session and slowly build up the kit. So now, for the first thing I do is, like I said, trying to drill a hole here. As you can see, where the upper body is being screwed on to the bottom end. And if I put the hexagon nut back here, it won't get into the way when I do assembly, final assembly. Now, what I need to do is to find the middle point on this bottom pad tray, and I need to measure up. So I need a small steel rule, and I have a scraper. Oh, and I do a scrape a line there, and then I will, let's see, where should I anchor the ruler? I may have my head may get into the shot, so I try to avoid that. But I may not be able to see where it goes. So I may need to. So I use these um two raised area to find the horizontal line, and then try to do a diagonal line between these two straight lines. And then here is the middle. So I give punch a hole there. And then I have some M2 screws and nuts. So that's what I'm going to use for this, for anchoring it onto the base plate. I always get a wooden block as a backing for drilling, so I don't drill onto the table. I use a smaller drill. This is I think 1.6 before I drill it with the 2 mm drill. This is 1.6 mm drill. To find the okay. For this kind of metal kit, we use a lot of drills and files, and those are essential tools to do build this kind of kits. And then this is a 2 mm drill. It's perfectly okay if it's slightly off one side, because ultimately this is for putting it on the base. If you don't want to put it on the base, you just want to leave the model on the shelf by itself, then you don't really have to do this, right? So I have drilled out a 2 mm hole, and now I'm trying to find the like I have this. I see this when I was building the Mang Mang MP44. So for the so here's my here are all my M2 hexagon nuts, and here the M2 screw. So this is the longest I have, but I have different length, so that when I attach to the base in the future, I can choose the one that fits. But for now, I just use the longest one, which may be too long, but okay. Get my screwdriver and tighten it slightly. Now, normally I would use I would solder the hexagon nut onto the bottom tray, but for now, because I haven't set up my soldering station yet, so I just use UV glue for the moment, and I just put two small, two small dab onto the hexagon nut, and leave some space around it. So when I set up the soldering station, I will solder it onto the bottom tray, which provide a much stronger bond. And here's the out UV light. You can tell from the camera. It's much, a lot purple, a lot more purple than in real life. So purple. Give it a minute. Yeah, I think UV light will change the modeling world for the future. Trust me, there's gonna be a lot of UV hardening stuff in the future. I mean, 3D printer is all UV hardening now. So the hexagon nut is already bound to the base plate. And the next thing to do is to tap a hole on the main body to take the screw from which fix the bottom tray to the main body. And it's in the kit. Um, let me see if it's in here. Oh, I might have took this screw out. Let me see if I have the screw here. Okay, actually I took that one out, but I left this one in here. Let's grab the screw out from the kit parts. Get a twister. That's my twister. Yeah, let's get a shitty chisel twister. This is the screw that comes with the kit. I'll use a smaller drill bit. I think this one is good. This is 1.7 or 1.6. So take this screw now, and then I tap a hole with the drill. Make sure it is being drilled in the center of that fixing point on the bottom of the bottom tray. I do have a motor tool, but for these couple of holes, I prefer to hand drill. And again, when I'm hand drilling, I don't use those carbine drills you see everywhere. I mean, I've mentioned it many times on Facebook in different groups. While the carbine drills are sharp and very hard, but they are very brittle. That's why they are sharp and they are hard. The best drill bits for hand drilling is high speed steel, HSS. And if you want to, and if you usually hand drill, and even if you use a motor tool, it's still hand drill, right? It's still hand drilling, unless you have a CNC machine, which is very steady. But your hand will never be as steady as a CNC drill. And use high speed steel drill bits, or else you break the drill bit every time you try to drill. It's just no matter how cheap they are, you're going to break a lot. And also, high speed steel drill bits are not that expensive. And one very important point I want to mention, you can see that I changed the cutting mat. When you work with metal, make sure you wash your hand frequently, because even though there's a lot, there should be very little lead content these days, but still you don't want to put your finger in your mouth when it contains. Very simple. I have do the fix, and then it's not tight enough. Okay. Still a bit. Still give a bit. Sometimes, sometimes when after you tap the hole and you try to the screw in there, it's good to take it off and clean up the because the metal will be pushed up by the screw, and that may prevent the bottom plate fit snugly, prevent a snug fit of the bottom. So it's better to clean up the this whatever you call that, scrape off the push up the metal, and then fix the screw again. This time I'm sure it will tighten up quite well. Okay, no movement anymore. Doesn't give anymore. Now it's very common. It is very common that the white metal part comes in with bends and dents. Um, I'll try to bend this back to shape. If I make chips or I break anything, I can easily fix it with solder. You know. But I will try to put this back in form. I use a wooden dowel to reshape it. See, it's actually very easy to bend it back in shape. This is very common with white metal kits, and I'm not going to worry about um, the unevenness because once I sand it, it'll become flat, and you can see that the edge is slightly deformed. So I will have to repair it with solder. And after I put repair with solder and send it back in shape, it will look just like the other side. Okay. So this is so far I've prepared the base and prepared the hole to fix the body onto the bottom tray. Now is now I can try to fix this onto the jig that I made and screw here. I think the screw may be too long, but anyways, let's give it a go. Yeah, it's too long. I think it's too long. It's too long. Okay, I will get a shorter one. Let's see if this is long enough. This should be long enough. Okay, this is how the jig works. Now, right now it's not that the help of the jig is not that obvious because it's just still the body and the bottom tray. But when I try to fix the front wing for the test shot or pre-assembly, it will help a lot. You know, especially when I need a horizontal alignment with a certain height. I will create a certain thickness of the shim, and before I glue the wings and also the wing the support up there. Let's we'll see in the future. But at the moment, you can see how the jig is being how the kit is being fixed to the jig and for future assembly. Now the next thing I do is to get the air opening out from the parts, and then I try to hollow it out. Show you how I hollow it out. Let me get the parts out. It's a good idea to have a small container for all the parts. Once you taken them out, I don't have it with me now. I will put it on a small container later, and I'll show it to you. Let's get a knife. And let's see where the part is. Here's the air scope. Cut open here. Nice. Okay, here is the air scoop, and this is how it fits onto the body. And I think the it needs a little bit of it needs a little bit of cleaning up here because there's some remain of the casting gates. So actually, it is better to use a file. We use a lot of file for metal kits. And then let's open the opening up. The first thing I do, let me put this photo edge part. The first thing I do, let me zoom in a little bit. Is to try to find the middle point of the in that cast solid base. And then find this is probably too big. Start with a smaller size drill and drill a hole as deep as possible. Don't try to get the right size uh, at once. You know, start with a smaller drill, drill a smaller hole, because once you slip, You destroy the lip, you destroy the parts. I try to drill as deep as possible because the motor tool, so that the motor tool can go in a little bit more. Okay. Now this is how big the hole is. It's not important to have it perfectly center because we're gonna enlarge the hole with a motor tool. And, let's see if I have a slightly larger drill bit. Maybe I don't. Yeah, this is a smaller drill bit. Okay. Let me see if this is too large. Yeah, it's barely fit. You can see that I tried to angle the drill bit there so it won't cut into the side of the intake. Okay. Now we switch to a motor tool. I have this hand tool, uh, which is let me see, and then get the which operate by a foot pedal, so it's more controllable. And try to find the and here's the cutter I used to start enlarging the hole. And this is quick. Click on the what do you call that? Collets. And I try to test the speed. Now it's it's quite fast because this is white metal. I don't want to use too high of a speed to grind the hole. So I'll lower the speed. And I'd rather take more time because the heat generate will melt the metal, and then it clog the tool, the cutting tool. So I would do it very slowly, bit by bit. Now you can spray WD-40 onto the cutting tool to keep it from melting the metal. That's one way of avoiding the debris clotting up the cutting tool. It is a bit harder for me to see because I don't want to. I try to avoid the getting my head into the shot. But if you don't have a motor tool, use a file. Okay, use a red tail file. Use a round file. Slowly file away the metal. Yeah, I think I'm trying to go too fast. It's important to maintain the shape of the opening, and I think I have. I had. Okay. That's enough for cutting. Now I really should get a different tool that doesn't cut so fast. Uh, here's, here's my collection of cutter. Try to use this, which is more like sanding than cutting. So, this one won't cut so fast. Too fast. Slow down the drill bit a little bit. Time to switch to filing. That's why I want to drill the hole as deep as possible so that I can move my file a bit more. Sometimes I deliberately cut the tip of the file off. I'm a bit of lazy, too lazy, because one of the best way to tell whether you are, maintaining you you maintaining an equal thickness around the rim is to paint the rim. Okay, I have this paint marker. Let me get the this paint marker. This is from Japan. This is who makes it? Let me see. And for plastic modeler. I wonder who made it. I cannot find the brand name. Should be Gunze, but I don't see the brand anywhere. Must be it must be Gunze. Anyways, if you and then you can see how you're doing. It's like maintain a uniform thickness around the rim. I think the shape of the rim is quite nice now. And what I want to do is to deepen the hole, and and use spec use this cutter back, this cutter, and create a wider hole in the inside. Sometimes the cutting tool needs cleaning up. I think this is pretty good. Once I put black paint inside, it'll look deep enough. Okay. Now I will take the body out from the jig and clean up all the molding line on the body. It's back. So get the base off from the main body. It's back to in the box. I always like to use a half round file to clean up the parting line. With the wooden block back. Now, if the step is too much in the molding line, then we need to fill it up with fillers. And for metal parts, of course, we cannot use plastic filler. We need to use real auto filler will be the best. Actually, the parting line on this kit is not too bad. Actually, if the step is not too severe, servicer will take care of it in when servicer can take care of it. Okay. Size should be better. Flat, 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 flat file would be better for this. And then we need to okay. Should I do next? Let's give the whole body a quick rub down to see if there's any major problem area. This is a 3M sanding sponge, and this is, I think, the super fine grade, whatever that is. I mean, I don't know what number that represent. But these kids, this types of this type of kids, um, really isn't cheap. I mean, so it really worth giving it the maximum care in building them because they will turn out to be a really nice little model. Looks like looks like a jewel, especially those super detailed kit with engines and full interior. Even though it's around what 4 inches long, still it has all the engine components, gearbox, suspension, the dampers, every bit of the detail, just like those 1 to 20 scale or 1 to 12 scale for that matter. Uh, some area that's hard to reach. Okay, just a quick rub down, and doesn't it look nice? Metal models are so nice looking, even without the paint. Looks so high tech. Anyways, this is just a rough rub down. Actually, the actually I need to replace the spine there with upper sheet, but I think I need to solder the air scoop on there before I cut off the spine here and then install the new spine. So I cannot do it now. I need to solder this air scoop onto the body first. But one thing I see that I can do is to these two are small. These two here are see this file are deliberately cut off the tip so that I can move in a bit. These two small square here should be two openings. So if I may, I like to deepen it. So let me see if I have the right size file to do the job. I may not have the right size file. It may be too thick. I may need to use other method to do it. Let me see. Is this one the this should be okay. Okay, steepen a little bit. And I think I need to sand this flat a little bit. But instead of using a sponge, I think I'll use a file to do that. Uh, try to use this one, this special shade file. By the way, I got most of these files from Japan, and I used to uh, I used to buy very cheap files, and you know which country make cheap files. And then I realized, reading some articles and reading some notes from artisans who make files in Japan, and actually the way they cut the teeth, it's has a it's a different. There's a lot of secret to cutting the teeth on the file, and actually the way they cut the teeth, they create the shape that wouldn't clot so easily. When you're filing, you got all this sanding dust coming out from the part, and they will clot the file. and you need to clean the file out, from time to time. And actually, with the way they cut the teeth, can actually minimize the clotting of the file. I was so amazed by it. And then I start buying all these expensive files, and not that they cut much cleaner, much smoother, and also, they clot. They don't clot that easily, and you just have to trust tools from Japan. Uh, they really have the know-how to make good tools. And of course, also sweets in German, because there are so many watchmakers from Switzerland and Germany. And then they try to clean up the opening on the of the side part. At the round file. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, then the special shape. This is a flat. This is a special shape. At this side. Um, Chunky, I will solder the part. I will s- I will perform a field soldering process with this kit, and I need to set up my soldering station because I haven't set it up yet. I move I move house. I moved back to my mom's house a few months ago, and I need to set up my modeling room, and it's taking shape slowly. And a few things I like to show you in the future. One is my soldering station. I like to do a few video on soldering because I think a lot of people are interested in soldering, but may have trouble doing it or don't know how to start. I would do a few soldering video, and I also setting up a spring booth, which I got from China, and this spring booth is quite unique because it has a water curtain at the back, just like the professional, large spring booth in paint shops. And I would like to set it up and show you guys, but before that, I need to get it set up because it needs ventilation out of the apartment, and then make sure the water curtain is flat and horizontal, and all that thing. It needs a bit of setting up time, and I will do that. Do those when building this car because these 43rd scale metal cars require a lot of different techniques like soldering, painting, clear coating, and many different process compared with plastic kit. And also the decaling is so once you master decaling on a 143rd scale models, you can decal anything, uh, because it's the shape is so complex, the curve is so degree of curve is so much that the decal needs to lay really flat on it, and then the thing is after you clear coat, you won't be able to see the film or the edge of the decals. That actually developed from 43rd scale cars. Many techniques that you see these days actually came from 43rd scale model cars. One of the things that most people don't know is now we are it's very common for us to use servicer, right? But in the old days when we build this kind of metal kits, we don't have hobby dedicated servicer. We need to go to auto paint. We use actual auto servicer, and that's how Gunzi developed their servicer because they realized that all these small scale car modelers, metal car modelers are using, automobiles paint servicer. So they develop the servicer we are using nowadays, and that actually came from 43rd scaled metal cars. And in the future, I'll buy the mother of all servicer to show you. It's called Soft 99, and it's aerosol paint. It's a servicer for car repairing and stuff like that. That I will do, in the future streaming. And since I need to solder the S-scoop onto the body before I replace the spine, so I will put this aside for now. And the next thing to do is to thin down the bottom tray to give it a more scale appearance, or more to scale appearance. I first of all I use this very cheap sanding stick, very coarse. It's 120 and 180. One side is 120, one side is 180. What I do is I try to thin it down from the bottom of the tray, like so, and send off, create a sort of slant on this side, on the side. So only the side is thinned down, while the inner part of the bottom it's maintaining thick, because I don't want to thin everything down. I just want to create the illusion of a thinner trailing edge. So what I do is I use a very coarse sanding stick to cut down the edge of the bottom tray. And as you can see, the unevenness of the dent from traveling, from the kit, transportation of the kit, are being flattened out. And there's also two little dents here, which is okay for now. I will repair it with solder in the if I can, I'm not sure I can do it tomorrow night, but I will definitely start soldering very soon, as long as keep an eye on my announcement on streaming. I will let you know when I will go on, with soldering. I did learn. Take me a while to learn to solder, and there are a few thing about soldering, and it's really different from gluing, because when you're gluing plastic, or even gluing metal parts together, because the glue has a tendency to bond the parts together. You know, you you really don't have to hold the parts together till the glue is completely set. I mean, as long as it dry to the touch, then you can leave them alone. But one thing about solder is when you melt the metal, it's liquid. It's not like glue that it stay on the part. Like it just flow away. It flows away. Okay. Now it's it, and then here on the top, I will not use a sanding stick. I will use a sanding sponge, because I don't want to destroy the shape here. Tamio has already create a certain uh, try a certain way to thin out the edge, but it's still too thick to me. It's still too thick, and it doesn't look to scale that well. So I will clean up here, and that's unevenness on the edge here, and I will try to clean this file. No need to go fast. Take your time. There's still a dent there. I need to repair that with solder. But it's relatively better now. So let me see. Keep thinning down. It's not thin enough. I keep the pressure on the outer edge of the bottom tray. Take your time. Always be patient with. And I really need to fix this corner. It should be square up like this. I'm sorry about the fingers, but when you're building this kind of kits, make sure you wash your hand thoroughly before you reach for any food or drinks. Even though there's not a whole lot of lead in the white metal these days, that still you want to be cautious about that. Mm. And then use my wooden block. And with my famous homemade sander, see, I got rid of the bump and dent of the edge of the clay by careful sanding. There's still a dent there, but the dent is formed from the underside. So all I need is a sliver of solder to fix that. But you can see that sanding can fix a lot of things. And now we create a very nice, thin trailing edge because the light's too sharp. So you can see the reflection is too strong. And you can see that the trailing edge of this side is much thinner now. And then we need to go to the back. And also remember that's a small aerial a feature here. And it's kind of thick now. And also the shape is kind of disappearing because of the thinning of the trailing edge. So again, carefully you put the shape back with the file. Do it slowly. And also always move the file in the cutting direction. It cuts when the file is moving outward. So that's how the file cuts better. If you pull back, then it won't cut, and then it actually will clog the teeth. So it's better to just move the direction of the cutting. And then slowly using the thickest area of the file, slowly reshape the feature. Sometimes I enjoy doing this so much that I don't really, I don't even bother having it finished and painting the car. I just, after doing one, and then I'll do the second car. As you can see, I have the other one that I did. I did all the thinning and sanding, and then it was left there. Never, never went back and painted. Thin it, but don't round it off. You know, keeping it flat and sharp. If you round it off too much, just put a dab of solder on it and then reshape it. Yeah. Next streaming, I will do soldering. I will demonstrate, not demonstrate, but I will show you how I solder. I always hate to say demonstration. I say I'm no teacher and I'm learning all the time, so I'm still learning. And you never stop learning. If you're still learning, you are always a student. I should have done this side so you can see that how thin, how it will achieve without the dent, which makes it look bad. And then I have cheap metal gray sanding stick. Still need more. Yeah. Still kind of thick. I hope you guys have patience to watch me because it's benefit to do it slowly, and like for the last hour, maybe last 35 to 45 minutes, I was only working on this edge. And it's how long it takes. So next time when I come back, I will show you guys how I fix this uh, corner here, and how I fix the dent here, and then move to this side of the bottom tray, because it's almost I have almost done screen for 2 hours, and maybe a bit too long. Just clean up the molding line here. And let's see. This is my half round. Okay, actually, that should be a clean cut here. And there should be a channel. There should be a channel coming in from here out there, and because of reproduction difficulty, they have cast it solid. But I would open this area out to recreate the channel, and also I will try to thin this area down to create a perception that it is thin, and it's still a lot of standing and shaping to do. So here's the molding line on the side of the turning lane. And then also we need to thin down this edge, thin down this edge, thin down the diffuser, and also the turning vanes. Anyway, it's been 2 hours. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I must say I enjoy this. This is building 1/43rd scale model cars is one of my favorite uh, one of my favorite models, and one of my favorite models to build. Okay, I think I'll call off tonight, and I will come back next time. Maybe I don't know I can do it tomorrow night because I have a dinner to go to, and if not, then I will come back again the day after tomorrow, um, and carry on with the build of this Formula One kit, um, the Lotus E21 driven by Kimi Raikkonen. Uh, I have to say, Kimi Raikkonen is one of my favorite Formula One driver because he's so carefree, and I like drinking as much as he does. So it's my favorite Formula One driver. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys have patience to watch me working slowly with this. But I want to do this right, so it's not like a building video for beginner because I will use airbrush to paint it, and I will use the latest clear coat. I try to use the most recent technology of clear coating the kit. It's a water-based UV clear coat, and I wish to try that. I haven't tried that. I usually use 2K like everybody else, but the latest technology is water soluble UV clear coat, and you need a special um, UV light box to cure the paint because it's called for a certain frequency of UV light to cure the paint. So I hope you guys follow the whole process, and I wish I can finish the whole process. I usually, you know, build it halfway and then get attracted to other kits when they release. But anyway, this time I tried to complete the kits. So okay, next time I promise I will do a little soldering. I don't know how much soldering I can do, but I will try to do a bit of soldering, and then continuous thinning the bottom pane, and then replacing the spine with thin copper sheet, and then hollow out the back of the car body. So thank you for watching, everybody. Good night, good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and see you next time. Watch out for my posts for streaming. Thank you. Bye bye.